and welcome to the Ask Dr. Renee show. If you have never watched the show before, this show is here to motivate and inspire you to live the life you deserve. Because let's face it, this is not a dress rehearsal. You've got one life. You better do it upright. And you know, we've had wonderful guests. Last week, we had Stephen Russell Hartz of Troop. We had Joy Brown earlier this month because this is Black Music Month. So we had Joy Brown of Atlantic Records and Culture Creators. Their events tonight in LA. I can't wait. It's going to be streamed. So I can't wait to watch that. And then, of course, we've had my money coach, Drake Jones, my trading coach, Jay the Trader. We've had D Nice, Michelle Williams, Lisa Nichols, just a whole host of really fabulous people, because I know these people's stories and I know they're living the life they deserve. And just because what you might have seen or read, you don't know the story behind the story. And so I'm trying to give you the story behind the story so you can understand that you can do this too. You can be just as fabulous and live the life that makes you happy. So today our guest is DJ WIZ, better known as Mark Eastmond, and he is going to he's living his life, the best life as well. So we are going to listen to his fabulous story and hear about all the wonderful things he's doing behind the tables and in front of the tables. That was cute, wasn't it? So welcome to the show, Mark.
Hey, Dr. Renee, how you been?
I'm good. How about you?
God is good. I'm still here. I'm blessed. I'm grateful. Every day I wake up, I'm grateful.
It's a good day, right?
It's a great day. Absolutely.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
So what did you want to be when you were growing up?
You know what? It's really weird. When I was growing up as a kid, I had this fascination with trains. I wanted to be a train engineer, just somebody who drove the trains.
Mm-hmm.
I was just amazed at how trains went everywhere. And sometimes you couldn't see how they got there, but you end up somewhere. So
Right.
I was just fascinated. I used to have train sets, train tracks, all of the popular brands like Tyco, HO. I forget all of the brands, but it's still a booming business, which is amazing to me. Train collecting, it's a big business, just like race car drivers, from not Hot Wheels. What's the other one? They used to have this series called AFX, and I was just a big geek nerd kid. I would like all that kind of stuff. Train
Now,
drivers,
are you from
racing
Queens?
Tracks. Absolutely, born and raised.
That's what I
Queens in the building.
So I
Queens,
thought I was
all day.
making sure I had that right.
Yes.
So look, we've had I think almost all the boroughs now, but Kwame is from Queens too, right?
Kwame and I are from the same neighborhood.
Oh, I didn't know he was on my shop floor.
Yeah, well, you see, that's why I'm here to give you the behind the scenes. You see, all right. So I'm from East Elmhurst, Queens. Okay, I'm still in East Elmhurst, to be honest with you. I'm still in this lovely, I call it the hidden section of Queens. It's like the gem of Queens. It's in the middle of the whole city.
Okay.
You can get to every part of the city like in a few minutes. But same neighborhood surrounding LaGuardia Airport. And from this immediate neighborhood, we all grew up in this neighborhood. Kwame, Kid, Play, Herbie Lovebug, Eric B, Cool G Rap, DJ Polo. Like, we're all from this immediate neighborhood. We all knew each other growing up. Like, just amazing.
That's like Virginia with Timbaland and Missy, and then Chris Brown and.
But I'm talking like the 70s and 80s.
Right.
I'm talking like and my brother Ron Lawrence, who is a big time producer now and used to be a rapper from Two Kings and a Cypher. Him and D. Angeletti. They like Ron is like my brother. He lived around the corner from me. So just an amazing pool of talent from East Elmhurst, Queens.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So how old were you when Kid and Play started?
Kid and Play started in 87 with their first single Last Night. But I've known them so much longer than that.
Right.
But yeah, they started in 87. Before that, they were different incarnations of a duo. Before that, they were Fresh Force. I was not their DJ at the time. They had a couple singles under that group. But further back than that, when we were like teens growing up, Kid and myself were in a group called the Turnout Brothers. That was, I'm talking about like 1981, 82. This is, like a year after Rapper's Delight came out. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, Rapper's Delight came out in 80. So, but we were like, again, we were doing stuff before records were even made. We were as young kids in the neighborhood, Eric B, all of us, DJ Polo, we were here doing it back then. But yeah, Kid and Play, 87, 88, because our album came out in 88.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So what did you decide to do? You graduated from high school. What are you gonna do?
Well, this is the thing. I was terrible when I was a kid. I hated school. I used to cut.
Wait,
I used
the
to play
nerd that
hooky.
hated school?
Yes, I hated it. It was like so boring to me. I was like, man, let me go out and go on the subway and go to a different part of the city and go to the arcade and play some pinball or something. It didn't keep my attention.
Okay.
It did not keep my attention. And I listen. And the crazy thing is, I passed the test to go to one of the specialized schools. I was going to Brooklyn Tech. You had to take the citywide test to get admitted into either Stuyvesant, Bronx High School of Science, or Brooklyn Tech. I got into Brooklyn Tech, and I went for a year. But like during the second half of my first year, I just started cutting and was like, let me go see what else I could find in the city. It was terrible. I was into my music.
Okay.
I was into my music back then. I was go to record stores and arcades. That's what I would do. Pretty much. Yep. But I turned out all right. Considering all of that, I turned out all right. Yeah, I did get my high school diploma eventually, even though I was, a freaking truant. I was a truant to, man, it was ridiculous. Oh my God. But yeah, thank God I was able to still get my high school diploma. I even tried to go to college just to please my parents. I got in the New York Institute of Technology, NYIT on 61st and Broadway. I went for 2 years. And then that was boring too. I was like, all right, I've had enough. And I didn't get my degree from there, but I started working. It was all about money and getting equipment, buying records. I was focused. I was focused on what was good to me. You see what I'm saying? So, and that led to me working downtown Wall Street for a good number of years. And then Kid and Play happened. And I never looked back. I got to see the world. I got to travel all around the country in different parts of the world and do what I love.
So how did Kid and Play happen? Now, you've known them, you grew up with them.
Yeah. Again, because they were a group before Kid and Play. They were Fresh Force. But what happened is, again, the amazing Herbie Lovebug from our neighborhood who created Salt and Pepa.
Yep.
His next thing was Sweet Tea and Kid and Play, pretty much. Like Herbie was the man at the time because Salt and Pepa really blew up. So Herbie was pretty much gold. He could probably get a deal at any new record company that was coming up. I mean, there weren't that many record labels doing rap back then. So Herbie was offered a deal from Fred Maneo of Select Records, and he brought Kid and Play to the table. And Kid and Play did Last Night. And I wasn't their DJ when they did Last Night. It was by the second single, Do This My Way, that I became their official DJ, even though I had known them since childhood before all of that. Herbie brought it to their attention. Y'all should take Wiz as y'all DJ. And I was like, yeah, of course, Wiz. So the rest was history.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So you, Kid and Play, they've done everything.
Yeah.
They did a cartoon, and you were part of the cartoon.
Yeah. Listen, I'm such a cartoon head, a comic book head. Like, I'm into all of that. I still watch certain cartoons, and I still love comics and like the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, DC. I'm into all of that still. Just like Kwame. Me and Kwame talk all the time about this stuff.
Yeah, you're right.
All the time. Like, we're big kids. We love it. And now everybody else is getting hip to what we've been hip to for all of these years. Everybody else. Yeah. So I still can't believe it that we actually had a cartoon, like a real deal national cartoon that came on NBC every Saturday morning. Like, who else can say that?
That's what I was gonna say. As far as Black people, let's see, the Jackson 5 had a cartoon.
Yeah, and MC Hammer
then,
was the only other hip
you're
hop
right.
person to
And
do
then
it.
you guys, yeah.
You know, so we did it the year before Hammer. Hammer had his cartoon the following year, but
Okay.
I just say all that to say is you've got to really be big to have a freaking cartoon. Oh
Right.
my God. So to this day, I'm still amazed. And, you know, we had great people involved with the cartoon. Martin Lawrence was my voiceover. Go back and look at the cartoon and listen to when I talk. It's Martin.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. Tommy Davidson was also a voiceover character in the cartoon.
Wow.
He did some other supporting character. I forgot who, but yeah, it was just an amazing time and an amazing experience. So I'm grateful for that. I'm
But
grateful.
you guys have like lunch boxes and all that stuff too, don't
I
you?
don't know. I think they might have had some promotional thing.
Yeah.
Not. I don't even have the lunchbox. Whatever
Okay.
promotion that was, I don't have it. But
Okay.
we have the comic book. We have the Marvel. I'm more proud of the Marvel comic book than anything.
Anything.
What? We are part of the Marvel comic universe. It's such a big deal.
That is
It's
so
big. Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. It's really big. You know, shout out to Marvel for just putting us down at a time when the era was just golden and just really blossoming into opportunity, you know. And that's another thing, you know. I talked about Kid and Play just breaking down walls to a lot of people that people didn't know. Kid and Play pretty much brought a lot of opportunity for young black artists to make movies in the first place because of House Party.
Because it did so well. I mean,
House Party
you know,
did
it's funny how
amazing.
we have a lot of movies, but a lot of our movies don't do well at the theater. Right. But then they'll hit video and they like 5 Heartbeats. Did nobody go to the darn theater? But as soon as it hit video, the 5 Heartbeats is a classic like House Party.
Right.
And you know, it's like, look, that's the R&B classic, and this is the hip hop one. You know, but this one did well in the box office before it went to video.
Oh yeah,
and it's still very popular.
The reason why a House Party did so well is because back then there weren't a lot of black films in the movie theaters, period.
Right.
Like there just wasn't. And there especially wasn't any hip hop ones.
Right.
You know? So of course, with the major theater chains, you had to get a certain number of screens across the country to do well. And I think Kid and Play might have had 400 screens throughout the whole country.
Out.
Yeah, so but there are thousands of screens around the country, thousands.
I know, yeah.
So with whatever hundreds that they had, they always sold out. There were not enough theaters to show the movie. So Hollywood saw that. Hollywood saw that every show was sold out. And it's like, okay, we still broke records, even though that the availability of screens was so low.
Yeah.
You know, we still made a lot of money. And that's when like, okay, who else can we get to make a movie? Like who, you know, that's what just started it all. So yeah, shout out to New Line Cinema who you know, gave the Hudlin brothers a chance.
Yeah. Now that wasn't their first movie, was it?
I think that was their first movie,
okay.
Actually,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, but they went on to do so much.
Oh
Boomerang,
no!
Boomerang
just posted yesterday that earlier this week he said it's been a big week for him. He had something on like almost every night last week or something.
Yeah, you know, shout out to Reggie Hudlin, man. He's still doing his thing, man. And shout out to my brother Warrington Hudlin, who's, you know, I'm super close with, and you know, he's an advocate for everything I do, and just I really appreciate him and Reggie for all they've done. Period.
Yeah, they're still killing it. They're killing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Boomerang, of course, everyone knows Boomerang.
One of my favorites of all time.
Mine too. I know the whole thing.
All time. Yeah. I think I need to close my window. I have my window open, but I think I need to close my window. I'm going to take you with me and close my window. Hold on a second, because it's summer here. You know how
I heard them. They was mowing the lawn.
100. That was like a what do you call it? One of them motorcycles or whatever.
Oh, okay.
It was just going by. Excuse us for the live. Yeah, okay.
It's okay. These things happen. That's better. But yeah, that is crazy. But House Party, It's house party. So how many house parties are there?
Too many.
Right. It's like I think I want to say really honestly there was a 6, but I could be wrong. But I'm
No,
almost
you might be
positive.
right. Well, put it like this. Let's put it this way. We went up to number 3.
Yeah.
There are house party 1, 2, and 3 that have
Yes.
Kid and Play
Yep.
involved. Martin was in 1 and 2. And same thing with Tisha. Tisha Campbell was in 1 and 2, but made a cameo in the 3rd.
3. Yeah.
Yeah. Latifah was in the 2nd one. Yeah. I think that was like her big role, like her first big role.
Okay.
You know, Latifah, of course, you know, we all know her for Set It Off and everything.
Right.
Going
Everything
now. Living Single and all of that. But House Party 2 was like the first breakout for her. So yeah, a lot of people came out of the house party movies. That's another thing people don't really realize. Kid and Play don't get the props they deserve for people that they helped put on. Really. Yeah. One that stands out. Well, there's more than one that stands out, but off the top of my head, Chris Tucker, who was in House Party 3. That was his first role.
Now I got to go watch House Party 3 again.
Chris Tucker is in House Party 3. Same thing, Bernie Mac, House Party 3. That's his first real role. Like, he was Kid's uncle in that movie.
I have to watch it.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. People don't remember this stuff. And there was a lot of cameos in House Party 3. Eddie Griffith's in there, Joe Torre's in there. Like, there's just a whole bunch of cameos in House Party 3. And of course, TLC is in there. That's their first on-screen anything as well.
Okay, yeah, I need to watch 3 again because I don't remember.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like, hey, it was
now,
going
2
on.
was my favorite because my Ralph was in it.
Let me tell you something.
Yo, baby.
Listen. Let me tell you. House Party 2 was that was the movie that I was in. That was my first movie. Because I wasn't in the first one. I was in House Party 2. And it was like a role that big. You turn your head, you're going to miss me. But I was in the party scene as well. Okay. I only had one little line to say to Play about his toilet, and that was it. Okay. But House Party 2, the filming was such a blast. Like, it was a pajama jam.
Yep.
And we were just hanging out, you know, everybody was just so cool and happy and excited to be there and just to be a part of it. It was just a golden time for us, you know, everything was fun. Just there was no drama, no nothing. Everybody was just real happy, you know.
And that soundtrack was amazing.
What? Listen, that is one of the most slept on soundtracks.
That soundtrack, too. I mean, I don't even remember one, but that 2 soundtrack was amazing.
Yes. No, it was incredible.
Candlelight and You is on there.
Yes. And then Tony's house party joint that they did. I don't know what you're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
What? Listen, just real good energy, you know? Good energy. I think Big Bub had a single on there too. Oh my God, I can't remember.
Pause. I watched Mary J's documentary yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
How did I not know that he co-wrote My Life?
What? Listen, talented individuals, man.
Exactly. I was like, I thought the man could sing well, but Jesus, I didn't know he co-wrote. That is one of my songs, of course.
Talented individuals. Like, I think the name of the song was "I Like Your Style" or something like that. On House Party 2. Just go back and do your house party review.
There's one song that nobody really knows the person, but that was my jam, and I used to listen to it over and over and over again.
Was it a slow song?
Yes. If you say it, I'll know it.
I know what you're talking about. Because they played it in the movie. I can hear it right now.
Yes, it was in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is my jam.
I know exactly what you're talking about. What artist was that?
To tell you because I'm like, I don't know where y'all found.
Yeah, that's a dope one. But
they found a good one on that one. You're right. His song was "I Like Your Style." I love it.
Yes.
It's my song.
That's it. That's when they were doing the slow grind. They were doing the slow grind up in there.
Something Estes. Why I know this, I don't know.
You got
London Jones.
London Jones. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to London Jones. That was
the jam.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that joint from Big Bub was banging though. Like, people, that's another one people forget about. That was a party joint that Teddy produced. I think Teddy Riley produced that one. Yep.
He was on the show too. FYI.
You got all of the big. I feel so honored to be on this show. You got all of the big ones. You had my brother D Nice on here. You had Kwame on here. All these.
But yeah, I don't know. That soundtrack was just so good. But I remember
really
going to the theater with my friends to see House Party 2 and 3. And I mean, it was a big deal because that was back in the day where there might have been 3 or 4 black movies in the entire year, and that was it.
Right. And you know what? You just reminded me of something else, something I discovered earlier this year that I forgot about. Talking about that soundtrack, do you know that there was a Soul Train episode where the whole show was the House Party 2 soundtrack? Like they had Bub perform, they had Ralph perform. Like I was like, wow.
I vaguely think I might have seen that.
And Tony, they all performed on Soul Train the same episode. Incredible. Yep.
So what was it? Was the 25th anniversary of House Party?
30th.
30th.
I mean, this is 31 years now. House Party came out in 90.
So last year, you guys, of course, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and the Apollo's been shut down for obvious reasons. And so they had this most amazing celebration of the 30th anniversary of House Party. It was virtual, of course, but it was so much fun. I think it was like $15 a ticket.
Right.
It was so much fun. Kid and Play, of course, were there. Wiz was our DJ all night. And it was so much fun. The chat was the best part. Everybody was in the chat. We had such a good time. They had the Hudlin brothers. They had all sorts of people, that were in the movie, and it was so much fun.
Yeah. And Bow-Legged Lou and Full Force was up in there, and their performance was dope. They impressed me. I was like, wow, they went all out, like for real. And then Lisa was a surprise at the end. Yeah,
it was just. I'm just like, I still can't believe our movies are getting this old. There's another movie they just said was a big anniversary. I can't think which one it was, but I was like, really? That was that long ago?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we got another anniversary coming for House Party too. Like that's gonna be 30. That's gonna be 30 this year.
Okay.
House Party 2 will be 30 this year, and I think Class Act will be 30 next year.
Now you were in Class Act, weren't you?
Yeah, another small part, just as the DJ. Like I was the DJ at the high school
party or something. I remember.
Yeah. So,
but I guess my thing, because Rappers Delight, like you said, came out in 80, and then but Kid and Play, like obviously they got a darn cartoon. Everybody knew about Kid and Play. So
I mean,
Herbie was just amazing, period. But how did they just blow up? Because you guys were traveling the world, not just the country.
Right. Well, again, it was just the whole package, because it was first of all, it was Herbie. I give Herbie the props he deserves, because he was the prototype to people like Puffy did. He's the prototype to Jermaine Dupri. There was nobody like Herbie before Herbie.
To have all those artists out in one place.
And just how to market them, the way he marketed them, he was a one of a kind. I mean, between him and Marley Marl, those were the guys that you were looking at that had the camps. Marley had the Juice Crew, Herbie had Idol Makers, which was his crew.
Right.
They also called it Herbie's Machine, which is all his artists. He actually had an album called Herbie's Machine, which everybody had a song on there. But Herbie's, because everything was in its infancy as far as going global or national, because it was still really going national, even though, we had songs from 79 and 80 that came out. That was the beginning of the birth of rap going to a national level.
Gotcha.
Thanks to people like Sugar Hill Gang and Curtis Blow. Curtis Blow was really the first rap superstar.
Okay.
For everybody that went national, to be on American Bandstand and Soul Train and all of these songs. So it's people like him and of course the Sugar Hill Gang and then also Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, the Funky 4 plus one more Chirac. Those are the artists that really did it for us. And the Fat Boys too before us. You got to give props to them, because the Fat Boys and just that whole camp, Run DMC, You know, they had their movies. Everybody had movies before us. You
Disorderlies.
know?
Yep.
Yeah, and Crush Groove and Wild Style and all of these movies, Beach Street.
Yep.
But again, the country wasn't ready, you know, they weren't ready for that yet. You know, that's what I'm saying. So we have to give props to those movies planting the seeds for us to do what we did, you know? So what you asked, well, how come Kid and Play blew up? Because of the people that came before us, you know? And I also think that the way Kid and Play was packaged, they were a unique looking duo. You know, Kid had the play, you know, and it was their chemistry. You know, thank God they had that chemistry to interact and be cool at the same time. They just captured you. You know, they captured your attention.
They could dance.
Yeah, they were talented. They were funny, and they had the look. So it was just the perfect package back then. You know,
and, you know, I always said to myself that I wasn't a hardcore rap fan. But Kid and Play, I didn't think of as hardcore. Like
that's my point.
Cute and dancey, and I knew the words. And
that's my point. So because they were packaged in a way that was more palatable, like, you know, we weren't like, you know, it was none of that roughness. No. I mean, and no disrespect to
no disrespect at all. They have their place.
Right.
I am a huge Dre fan and Snoop, and
so
you know,
were we.
all that West Coast.
I still am to this day. We toured with N.W.A. You know, we toured with
wow.
Public Enemy. We toured with Public Enemy and N.W.A. like different times. You know.
Okay.
Yeah. Listen, you talk about being palatable, so they needed a little balance on the tour.
You're right.
You know, you got N.W.A. Okay, who else is going? Too Short. Okay, who else is going? J.J. Fad. Okay, Kwame. Oh, a Kid and Play. Balance. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little balance. And, you know, whoever was the local hot rap act in whatever town we went, they would put them on as the opener. So
gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, we toured with them for 1 year. We toured with PE for like 2 or 3 years, and Digital Underground, Latifah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean,
was Tupac in there then?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Tupac, T-Roy was still alive. You know, T-Roy passed on our tour. That's the tour that he passed away. Yeah, it was, oh God. Yeah, but I just say all that to say that era, the talent, you know, you mentioned Tupac. Tupac was one of the nicest people and most approachable person. Like, he was just a regular dude. You know what I mean? He was not the crazy person that he's portrayed to be. Not back then, at least, you know? I got footage of us chilling with Tupac. There's actually something on YouTube. If you put Tupac and Kid and Play in Tupac, if you put Tupac and Kid and Play in YouTube, just type it in, you'll see this clip of us having fun, hanging out, like backstage.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, one of our dancers, one of Kwame's dancers, violated and attacked us when we wasn't looking, and we all just like formed Voltron on this guy and just went and pretty much gave him a butt whooping. You know, not real life, but you know,
right.
We just let him know not to mess around with us. But Tupac is right there, just hanging out with us, having fun. Yeah, it was just a real fun time to be a part of hip hop. So
I've met a lot of people, and that is one person who I did not get to meet before he was gone. Wow. I met Biggie before he died. I have a picture with Biggie.
Another cool person.
I didn't get to
funny. Biggie's another funny dude, just cool, funny. You know, I didn't hang with Biggie. Like, we didn't hang, but we would always see each other at the parties, you know, and that's when he was hanging with Tupac, and he was hanging with this crew called the Live Squad from Queens.
Okay.
Their main rapper is gone too, like passed away back then. You know, they were some wild dudes from Queens. Like, I think they were signed to Tommy Boy, but yeah, but I would always see Biggie, Tupac, and Puffy was with them too. Everybody was just hanging regular, you know? Yeah. Just good stuff, man.
I mean, but I will say that all of the people that especially people who've been on my show and stuff, I think they're all regular people like you. I just, like you guys, so I always tell everyone how I know people. So Mark and I were introduced by a mutual friend in Chicago, Mike Saunders, shout out. But Then I'm in New York all the time. And I was like, well, I'm here. And he's like, oh, well, you're not far from me. And he came to my aunt and uncle's house. Like, who does that? But he was so nice. He came and we just kicked it.
I ain't no fake dude. I'm like,
Yeah.
look, I know you were
He's
working with
like,
an
you
artist
here?
at the time too. You were working with some
Yeah, we were
artists
working
at
with
the
Lady
time.
T.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And I was like, okay, yeah, whatever I could do. I mean, but that's
Yeah.
what real people do. You don't just
Yeah.
say stuff and
Yeah.
I ain't about
And
that
I
stunt walk.
appreciate you. And every time, like we ended up, remember we were in LA together and
Mhm.
we went to that thing with Yo-Yo and I was like, Mark. And so we hung out and I was like, he's just cool peeps. And so when I randomly text him, he responds.
Listen,
He's cool
look,
peeps.
Dr. Renee, I just have one way of life that I've always lived. You treat people how you want to be treated.
That's my
That's
philosophy.
it.
That's my philosophy.
It's that simple. Like, treat people how you want to be treated and you'll have a good life, because look, life is not perfect for anybody. You want people to, if you're struggling in any situation and you need assistance, you want assistance. And if you reach out for assistance, you want to get that assistance.
Yeah.
So if you ask somebody, can you help me do this or whatever? And if you're a person that wants to be treated, because you might be in that same position one day,
Right.
help. If
And I know Mark is a Christian. So like when my dad was sick, I texted him and told him, like, Mark, this is what we dealing with right now. If you could throw up some prayers, we so would appreciate it.
Absolutely.
He's like, I got you.
Hey, you know what? What's the verse? When we touch an agreement, all of us, he's there with us.
Exactly.
That's how it is. So I mean, absolutely. And that whole method of thinking about life, just to treat people how you want to be treated, do unto others.
Yep. As I have
It's that simple. It's that simple. Everybody just needs to know that before you start talking about somebody, before you start, just going off at the mouth. The mouth, that's the problem. Our mouth gets us
the power is in the tongue, they say, right?
Life and death. It's real. Come on. Like, look, you think about all of these people, whether you're a celeb or you're a politician, that get in trouble from the stuff they say. Not do, but say.
Right.
And this cancel culture today
is ridiculous.
Get canceled in a hot
minute.
A hot minute to the hour. You done. So just watch what you say. If you don't want nobody to say nothing bad about you, don't say nothing bad about nobody else. Period. Right. It's a real simple way to live. You talk about living your best life. That's the way to your best life right there. Watch what you say. Speak nothing but good things about people. And if you don't have anything good to say, then just don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. It's
now,
real
speaking
easy.
of that, unfortunately, this past year, we've lost so many amazing people. Yeah. But I know people that you specifically know. Marky D.
Yeah, it's crazy because I haven't seen Mark in a good number of years. And
he moved to Florida, right?
Yeah. And the crazy thing is we kind of reconnected online.
Okay.
Shortly before he passed. Shortly before. Like, we would shout each other out in the live or whatever, hey, what's up, fam? And so when I heard, I forgot who texted me, and we get these texts. Oh, such and such. Did you hear? I hate those texts. By the way, I hate those texts. Yo, last year that was the trend. You get this, you just scared to look at your phone.
Right.
So somebody got you. Who? What now? I don't even want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. So when I got that text, it was like, was it COVID? Like, I'm thinking it's COVID. I'm thinking, and I heard it wasn't COVID.
Right. I think I heard
like,
it wasn't either.
Yeah, it was like a heart attack. From him to Ecstasy, like, I was from Houdini, like all of these guys, like, and this is before X passed, this is before Shock G passed. We talking about before all of that.
You're right. I forgot about Shock G too. Yeah.
Yeah. My brother Shock G. Again, I hate to shamelessly plug here, but I got some footage of Digital Underground, Tupac, Shock G, Money B, not just performing, but just the backstage stuff, the fun, real life, on the road stuff that I'm gonna be sharing.
You know what? I watched, and I'm slow because Joy even talked about me, but I said we've been going through a lot in the Matthews family, but I just watched the Biggie documentary, and that backstage footage that his friend did was so good.
Priceless.
It was Excellent.
And we didn't see all of it. You know, we just saw enough what he
Just
got
enough,
in the documentary, you know? So you know he got another, he could probably do a part 2.
He said he was filming every time,
Absolutely.
you know, when they were going places. So
I was like that. I was
and
like
that's what I'm
that
saying.
back
So
in the
you
day.
need to get with a producer and you need to put that up, because
I got
and then
stuff.
also I think that the Kid and Play story needs to be told like we saw the Salt and Pepper story.
Yeah, a lot of people saying that. And on top of that, not just the Kid and Play, I think the Herbie Love Bug story.
I agree, because he was just the mastermind behind it.
Yeah.
Although, you know, just like they're supposed to be, God willing, they still do it. Remember, BET was doing the Uptown story.
Yes. Eddie F put me onto that. My brother DJ Eddie F, who was part of all of
Heavy
that.
D, yes.
Yeah. You know, that's another person who needs his own story. DJ Eddie F, because he was part of so much.
Yes.
You know, a lot of people look at Teddy Riley for the whole New Jack thing. Eddie F was a big part of that.
I think Teddy did mention that on the show too.
He was a big part of that, like major. Yeah. There was stuff I didn't know that he told me earlier this year. Like we were talking about I'll Be Sure and how I'll Be Sure got discovered. He is a big part of why I'll Be Sure even got discovered.
Let me tell you how Don't You Know was my song. And I didn't know that was I'll Be Sure until way later.
Yeah, man. So, and shout out to Al. That's my man. Cool people.
Yeah.
You know, but Eddie.
You know, he was having some health issues. Thank Jesus. He has come through his health issues and he's okay. Mm-hmm. But he scared me for a minute too. He was posting and he was looking he was in the hospital and, you know, I was like, oh God, what's going on? And so I think that I heard that he's okay now. But I'm like, Lord have mercy. We have to take care of ourselves. You guys, we have to take care of ourselves. These people we're all talking about are less than 60.
Take advice from the doctors. You know what you talk about. You know,
less than 60.
I've been on that for a long time, and you know, I mean, knock on wood, knock on my head, and just I thank God I haven't had any real ailments up to now, and I pray I stay healthy. And you know, my mom just turned 98.
Amen.
And I'm praying that I'm blessed like her. You know, just to, you know, she still got her sense. She can still move. She can still talk. She can still hear. She can still see. No high blood pressure, no diabetes, no none of that. You know, I'm praying that those genes run through to me too. So, you know.
Yeah, we just have to really, and Andre Harrell, that was just, and you know, in the Mary's thing, she had that whole little, it was a whole little thing she wrote to him, a little letter or something. Oh my God, I was like, I'm going to start crying.
Yeah. And, you know, it's people like him, you know, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, which he was a part of the group. And there were just so many legendary people that really changed the trajectory of the culture. Like he's one of
so many lives. I mean, so many people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know? Yeah. I mean, you just got to be thankful for these people that put you in the game, period.
Right. Because Diddy, even in the documentary, was some guy who he really, you know, didn't nobody know that man, but he did the My Life album. He was the producer, Chris Thompson. And you're like, what?
Right. Yeah.
And, you know, look what this album has done. I know that changed that man's life.
Right. And that's why when, you know, like you said, these documentaries, these stories that need to be told.
They need to be
told. So people can get their flowers and get their shine.
Now.
Exactly. Hopefully while they're still here.
Amen.
Exactly. So, you know, I'm going to, trust me, I'm going to work on my own little documentary DJ WIZ
I know
story.
you will. So I mean, tell us more about this, the Hip Hop Museum, because I think that's a fine place to begin. Look, that's a nice place for a screening.
Right. Yeah. Isn't it? Right. So luckily, I have a good lifelong friend over 30 years, my friend Martha Diaz, who used to work with Ted Demi at MTV, MTV Raps. She started an organization called the Hip Hop Education Center. And this Hip Hop Education Center is a collective of historians, teachers, all hip hop and from all parts of the world. And we meet every Wednesday to, you know, have our think tank and just collaborate. But we're here to basically get the real hip hop history in line, in order, facts from the people who were there and the people that know, because there are too many so-called specialist historians who have no clue what the hell they're talking about, that say this was that was this, and they were not even there.
Right.
They're just going off what they heard or what they were taught, and who knows who taught them. A lot of them don't get it right. So we have real people that were there. A brother by the name of Paradise Gray, who many people know was responsible for this club promoting a party called was it Celebrity Tuesdays at the Latin Quarters, which is a big part of New York hip hop history. And he has a book out actually.
Okay.
Look Paradise Gray's book. He's on the cover, Kid and Player on the cover, and Chris Rock together from a picture at the Latin Quarters. But it's just history. So it's people like him, Pete Knight, Prime Minister Pete Knight from Third Base. He's a super historian of hip hop. So between guys like this, Grand Mixer DXT, who was one of my idols when I was coming up, who inspired me to keep being a DJ. So, we just have a group of real legends and historians. And I just mentioned the ones that were actually in the business. There are people from all over the world that are sharing the hip hop timelines from wherever they are, So we just want to really educate everybody. We're having what we call we're going to call it like the hip hop standards.
Okay.
So if it doesn't pass our standards, then it's not real.
Gotcha.
Pretty much, because there are just too many people out there faking the funk.
Mm-hmm.
So Martha works closely with Rocky Buchanan, who founded the hip hop, not the Hip Hop Education Center, but the Universal Hip Hop Museum. And I know Rocky. I've been friends with Rocky for years, and so we basically came together. And the education part is going to go with the history part and the public forum. So we're all here just adding and making sure that the museum is correct. Yes, you should go to the website, check out the museum, and I think there's actually a virtual tour. That's on there, and not just that. I think they're going to have a virtual tour of what the future museum is going to look like. They just broke ground last month. Everybody was there. LL Cool J, Nas, Chuck D. It was a who's who of hip hop. Fat Joe. I can't even remember everybody, but it was Shy Rock, the Funky Four, founders like that. It was just amazing, and I'm just really grateful to be a part of it. They gave out plaques. I got a plaque that day. Like everybody who was really a contributor from the beginning was there, and they got plaques. Shout out to my friends that were in the building. From Dr. Catrice was there. April Walker, who founded Walker Wear, she got it was just Ralph McDaniels from Video Music Box.
Yep.
All of us were there, part of the big day. And, I'm just looking forward to the future of the museum when it finally gets built. Yeah.
Awesome. And you have to tell everyone about Video Mix Party. You guys, you've never seen anything like this, but it is so amazing.
Yeah. So back in 2006, I believe, I found a venue in Lower Manhattan called the M15 Lounge. And they had this projector screen, and they were showing some stuff on the screen. And I was like, what if we actually did a party where we were just showing the old hip hop videos or just hip hop videos in general? And I talked with the owner, and he said, yeah, we could try something like that, because the technology had just come out where you could actually mix DVDs on a turntable. And I had video DVDs, and I had thousands. I still have thousands of VHS tapes of music videos and performances from stuff like Soul Train or the awards or whatever. I got it. I still have stuff I have to go through. I got archives. I have tour footage. I have all of that kind of stuff. Imagine we just did a party showing that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how the Video Mix Party was born. And I talked to my DJ brothers. I talked to the Awesome Two, Teddy Ted and Special K, who they need their story told too, because if it wasn't for guys like them and Red Alert, none of us would be here, period. Shout out to my brothers, Cool DJ, Red Alert. Teddy Ted, Special K, the Awesome Two, and of course Marley Marl and Mr. Magic. If it wasn't for people like them, none of us would be here. This culture would not be here. And the next big shout out to my video mix brother, VJ Ralph McDaniels. If I didn't have the support of Ralph McDaniels, the Awesome Two, my DJ brother from East Elmhurst, Queens, DJ Vernon, who was like a mentor to me because he was part of this group called King Charles, which was the mobile DJ in our area in the 70s, that brought the DJing in the parks and basically just motivated me to become a DJ. That's how the Video Mix Party was born. We had that collective of these DJs, also included my partner and brother, Dana Dane, Mr. Cinderfella himself. He was one of the hosts of the parties, and another brother named Big Said. Big Said, who is like a legend. Big Said is just a legend from the city. Everybody knows him.
We're connected on LinkedIn. I don't even know.
Yeah, Big Said he's just like celeb famous for no damn reason, but just for, I have no idea why Big Said is a celebrity. I will say this. He was the first male video hoe because he was in MC Light's video. He's the guy that MC Light is dissing in Paper Thin. That's Big Said. Okay, so go back to that video. Okay. Look at that dude. That's Big Said. So that was his first big role. And then turn around and he's the male video star in Money in the Middle. It's the same guy. Okay, so he's like the first male video vixen, you know, but that's my partner. So between him, Dana, and my DJ brothers, we started the Video Mix Party at the M15 Lounge. And to put it short, you put any video. I said Paper Thin, I said Money in the Middle. Imagine just seeing that video, and when I touch the turntable and go like this, you see the screen go like this with the music. Like that's what the video mix is. You can mix and blend, scratch, do whatever with these video and just mix them, manipulate them. And I think the fun part for me was to like do custom videos. You know, you can just put audio tracks to whatever videos you want and create an atmosphere. So it's becoming more popular now because video is just trendy now. Video is trendy now. We were doing this since 2006. So yeah, that's something I still do. And I'm just glad that it's catching on now. And I have an event coming up in a couple of weeks at the Museum of the Moving Image in Queens, in Astoria. You know, thanks to my brother, Mr. Warrington Hudlin of House Party Boomerang, the Hudlin brothers. He's a curator there at the museum. So I'm just grateful that he connected and made it happen, you know?
Awesome sauce. Yeah. Awesome sauce. I went to Foreplay when I was in New York. I probably was in high school.
Wow.
And I couldn't afford anything in there because I was in high school. And you guys, Foreplay was Play Store and it was leather goods. So stuff wasn't cheap.
That damn Play.
There's a picture. Right. There's a picture and I got to find it. I don't know where it's at. And when I find it, I'm going to send it to you. But I'm standing in the display in between two of the mannequins. Mm-hmm. It's so cute. And my cousin stood outside and took the picture. So it had Foreplay in it. It was the cutest.
Oh, you got to show me that.
I know. I got to find this picture.
You gotta show me that. I'll share that with him. I'm sure he would love to see that.
Right. You know? I got to find this picture. But yeah, I went to Foreplay and I was just so excited. My cousin's like, but you can't afford anything in here. I go, I know, but you know what I did buy? I bought sunglasses.
Oh my God.
Because that's what I could afford. I bought sunglasses. I remember now because they came in a little pouch with a drawstring.
That is hysterical.
Oh. Yes, I could tell you where they are now.
My website is thedjwiz.com.
Look, we're going to fix that right now.
Thedjwiz.com. Okay? There's a lot of fake DJ Wizzes out there. I don't know why people think they could just appropriate somebody's name. And, you know, but this is the real DJ Wiz right here. Mm-hmm. Okay? So I appreciate it.
And on Instagram, you're the real DJ Wiz, right?
The real DJ _
Wiz.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because again, there's a couple fake DJ Wizzes who came like 20 years later and try to be DJ Wiz. I've been here since 1977. So people need to stop. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? People have no idea what they talk about.
But you guys, please visit his website.
Yes.
Check out his Instagram and follow him. And if you're in New York, please go to the event because it's gonna be off the chain. Especially if you're vaccinated, go and enjoy yourself. I see New York has 70% of the population vaccinated. Kudos to New York.
People acting like it's 100%, and people they wilding still. Okay, wear your mask and social distance. That's all I got to say about that. Okay.
See, I moderated a panel with and who was on the panel was DMC.
That's another legendary brother who's down with the comic collective. DMC has his own comic line. Like,
oh wow, I didn't know that.
DMC has a comic book.
He was educating the folks on the vaccine. I was so impressed. And, he didn't know this, and I do very well. I'm professional, but DMC was my favorite member of the group. And so it's like, I was just like,
legend.
Oh my God. I know. I was just like, oh my God. Am I really talking to this man? But he was great. He was awesome.
Very cool, brother. Very cool.
Yeah. And he's really into educating us about our health, which I really appreciate that. So I guess he's been working with, there was a doctor that was on the panel. He's been working with him, and they've been doing PSAs and stuff. And I was like, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Because we, for whatever reason, we always are missing out as Black people. We need to be getting on board because unfortunately, a lot of these illnesses affect us and not others as much as they affect others. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to hear that, and we need more advocates, people who are actually out here saying something valuable. We need as much real information, helpful information, because it's just there's too much insanity and stupidness that's being shared instead of real helpful information. That's why I give you props for even having this platform to give, you trying to share how people can live their best life. Okay.
Yeah.
And just be yourself and be nice and be courteous and be respectful and be mindful.
Right. And honestly, I tell everyone, I said, if you think that you can do it, then go do it. If it's not going to harm you or others, then make it happen.
Right. What's the worst that can happen?
Right. What's the worst that can happen? But with the help of the internet, there's so many possibilities of getting things done.
Right.
That, we didn't have that. I didn't have the internet. I just had to figure out, okay, this is what I want to do. And somehow I'm going to figure out how to do it. And so I literally, a lot of people are like, but you're a medical doctor. Well, I knew what I wanted to do. Right. And so I'm one of those people, I didn't necessarily need somebody to show me the way. I just figured out a way myself. And so I'm very grateful it's worked out thus far. Kudos to those in Detroit that saw me on the news this morning. It has worked out. Thank you, Jesus. I pay my bills. And
thank you, Jesus, for that.
Right. My parents don't worry about me. So it has worked out. But I figured I knew what I wanted to do. At a young age, I knew what I wanted to do. And then I just thought about how to figure out how to do it.
Amen.
And and my thing is, like you said, I treat everybody the same.
Right.
I don't care if you're the assistant, the janitor, I don't care. I treat everybody the same. So people remember me and they help me out.
Oh, I didn't even know we had a chat. I see somebody that said, do you know Jack Benson? Yeah, I know who Jack Benson is. I don't know Jack personally. I definitely know who Jack Benson is. Yep.
Yeah, but people help me out because I treat everybody the same, and I try to help people. When I can help people, I help people.
That's what it's about, doctor.
Yeah, and so they remember me, and they're like, "Hey, Dr. Renee, she can do that, or we can ask her. Maybe she needs or what." And I mean, it's wonderful because it evolves into all these amazing contacts and things happening and stuff, and I'm grateful, and I just want other people. I think people don't realize life is really that simple. Like, you don't have to make it really complex. It's really that simple. Find out what it is you love to do and go.
Right. And I think people become their own worst enemy because they put up these limitations in their own mind about what they think they can do, or they worry about what other people think.
Right. Or you listen to other people, and that's why sometimes people should just not say anything.
Right.
You have nothing to say, don't say anything.
Right. Move in silence. Correct.
Right.
Correct.
because you might shoot. Because I always tell people, if I was to have listened to the people who said, one, I would never be a doctor, or two, that's silly that you want to be on TV, or all of these things, if I was one of those people that would listen to that and take that in, then I wouldn't be where I am now.
Right.
And I might be doing something and be miserable.
Imagine what kind of life that would have been.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. And life is too short. You know, you talk about all these legends that we don't have anymore, friends that I've had, you know, it's short. So why wait? Do it now. Don't wait.
And those people, you know, unfortunately they did die young, but a lot of them, they did live what they, you know, they were living life. They were good. They were enjoying themselves. Look at Heavy D. He was, I mean, Heavy was the artist, the producer, the record. I mean,
and such a beautiful person. Like
that's
Heavy
what I
was
hear.
The nicest.
Joy Brown was Heavy's assistant.
Person.
Who knew that? That was her first job in the industry.
Wow.
And she was like, he had sent her a message years later and said, I've been watching you and you're doing your thing. She said he was wonderful. She said he was a hard boss, but he taught her. And that's how, that was her first entry into the industry.
Right. And, you know, that, you know, she says he was a hard boss, but he was probably hard giving her the truth. You know, he's never mean. That's not in his nature. He's never a mean person. You know, he probably was just like, no, you got to do it this way just to make sure she could be the best she could be.
Right.
You know, but you got to appreciate people like that not going to sugarcoat what
tell you the truth.
Really be. Yes, exactly. Because that's, you know, when people sugarcoat and don't tell you the truth, then you get mediocrity. You don't want that. You know, you want to be the best. So you need to hear.
Well, I think while you all are all in good health and living, Kid and Play needs to come together and do something. I don't know what it is. But
well, there's.
And I know they perform, and then you're not with them. But I want you to be with them too.
I'm with them when I can be, you know, and at the end of the day, those are still my brothers. I still got love for them, and I'm glad they're still here.
Yes,
you know, because again, we're not all still here, and I'm just grateful that we can get on the phone and say, hey, you know, my brother, you know, it's I don't take it for granted that I'm still here. So I'm just, you know, I'm gonna do what I can, show love, spread love, keep the brand going. The DJ WIZ is a brand by himself. The Video Mix is a brand by himself, but I still have my legacy with Kid and Play that I can't erase my legacy. I'm here to just share the legacy of Herbie Lovebug, Kid and Play, Idol Makers, East Elmhurst Queens, all of the legends that come from here, you know, Kwame, Eric B, Herbie, all of us, you know, it's just a blessing, you know, and you can go be the legacy of wherever you're from, whoever you are.
Now, you know my song, and I wonder, were you in the group with, it's on Salt and Pepa's Black Magic album, the duet they have with Salt and Peppa and Kid and Play.
Kid and Play, I'm on that.
That is my song. It's called I Don't Know, isn't it?
I really don't know.
That is my song.
Herbie flipped.
Mind you, I have the album. I should have brought it down. I have the album.
Yeah, DJ WIZ.
I used to play that song over and over and over again. I love that song.
Yeah, all of us. Like it was Kid, Play, myself, Salt, Pepa, and Spinderella. We all on that record.
That was the jam.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
You know your stuff. Now I know you really know your stuff. You see, because a lot of people don't know about that song.
I know. You know? I know. Yeah. And they're like, what song? I was like, you don't understand. This is the jam.
Herbie was ahead of his time, man. He really was. But you know, that's a gem. That's a gem right there. I think it was the original song was like a Meters song from the group The Meters that he just flipped it and used as the track. Yeah.
I mean the beat. You guys need to go look up this song. It's amazing. But that was my jam. I never told you that, but
that's dope. Yes. Good pick. Good pick. There's you know hidden stuff. Even on the Kid and Play album, my first album, Kid has a duet record with the real Roxanne called Undercover. Yeah, a lot of people don't know about that. And that record is the same beat that LL used for doing it. Same.
Oh, okay.
With a Kid
and Roxanne.
And the real Roxanne. But another hidden fact, it was really supposed to be Salt saying the rhyme. Like there's a tape somewhere out there with that version, Salt and Kid saying the same rhyme. But go, if anybody wants the history, just go listen to that song called Undercover on the Too Hype album.
I'm gonna have to go check it out.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for dropping all these gems. We're all going to check out the the Universal Hip Hop Museum.
Yep. UHHM.
UHHM. And if you can, you have to go to a video mix party.
Yeah. I'll be in Queens July 17th at the Museum of the Moving Image in Astoria, Queens. So
July 17th. Yeah. So if you can, check that out. But follow this man. He's not going anywhere. He's just going to keep on blessing us. And soon we'll see the documentaries that he spoke of, because look, if I have to help him make it happen, it's going to happen. And look, I know a few people.
You do. That's no lie. You definitely do.
But you guys, we're going to take off next week because we're going to celebrate the 4th of July, although Juneteenth really was our celebration last week, but because it is a bank holiday next weekend, we will take off the weekend so that I can actually do something on a Saturday and not have to stop in my day to do this, which I love doing, of course. But I'm really excited. Me and my sister are working on some things, so next weekend we can probably get a lot done. And July 10th, we will be back, and I was supposed to get you a flyer, but it didn't quite get made yet, you guys. Sorry, I told you I was on TV this morning and early morning yesterday. But Jason Weaver will be on next week. And if you don't know who Jason Weaver is, look up The Chi. He is now one of the regulars on The Chi. But Jason Weaver was in Lion King, the original Lion King cartoon. And he played Little Michael Jackson. And he was on, I think it was The Smart Guy. The man has been in the business since he was a child. And he also is a recording artist, and he sings one of my very favorite songs. So we will be talking to him on July 10th. So you guys, thank you so much for joining us. And please don't forget, I didn't tell you at the beginning because I forgot, but don't forget to like, share, comment. Send this to somebody who needs some positivity, some hip hop history in their lives. And make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so that you know when we have another video up. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Peace.